Hey, how you doing? Let me get a sip of my tea, and we'll get going. All right. Let's see here. Check. Oh, takes the queen. Sorry. That was funny. I mean, should have seen that one. Oh, who? Check. Checkmate. Okay. Let me see here. Check. 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 Yeah. Check. Check. Checkmate. 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 Boom, wins the rook. Check, checkmate. Win a rook. Hey, how you doing? 360. Let's see here. So check. Oh yeah, this wins a queen. Let me see here. This wins a queen. Let me see here. That wins a bishop, I believe. Let me see. There. Let's see. This is a smother mate. I believe this wins a rook. Yeah. Let me see here. This takes, knight moves. No. Well, yeah, I guess I could. This takes here wins a rook or a knight. Let me see. This is a check. Wins a piece. This actually mates in 3. Let me see. This wins a rook. Okay, I think I win a queen. Oh, snap. I should take it with the knight. My bad there. So rook takes there, and then that. Okay. So takes, and then mate. Okay, gotta move the king over to d1. So taste. That wins a queen. This actually, I think I... Ah, no, this protects everything. Let's see, check. King G there. Oh, boy, let me see. Oh, this wins a piece. Let's see here. If I take there, check. Comes there, check. Ah, 25. Got to like 28 of them. I think, and what my problem is, I'm learning not to think so long. I got so close one time to 30, but I got the last one wrong, and I had plenty of time left, but I just got one wrong. I was almost up to 30. I was like, but then I got it wrong. It's not. I always figure this. It's not where you start, it's where you finish that matters. Okay, let's find out what I did because I somehow made a boo boo here or a blunder. So rook takes is not there. So there, that's not it either. Oh, sorry. That was my problem. I missed there. I was looking for a different combination. It's good for one thing that I've noticed. It helps you recognize patterns. And what you should do is after every so you win there. After every thing, if you get them wrong, let's say 3 in a row, go over the ones you've gotten wrong, or even if it's one that you didn't finish, like this one here, you still go over it and you try it. You actually finish it, and you'll see an improvement in your patterns. I think this is a perpetual because I don't. There's no way to win. You just don't. What you do is you just don't just jump right back in it. Make sure you learn from your mistakes. And that's the whole basis that what Puzzle Rush is based on is actually teaching you pattern recognition and having you go as fast as you can. Because there's something called myelin in your that helps with your memory and everything. It's called myelin. And the faster you do like the patterns, the you'll find that the more you'll be able to spot them on the board. So you should try as yeah. Oh, photo reading, yeah. Photo reading works too. It's that's a good way of doing it too. But yeah, one way is that when it comes to puzzles, though, I like how fast you have to be on here. Even if you sometimes hiccup every once in a while. I hate to say it. One time I got 12 because I went too fast, and so I had to tame myself down a little bit. And just, you know what? Make sure you make the right moves. Don't just go like super fast, because that doesn't help. So just do, just be smart about your speed and try to go as fast as you can, but reasonable too. And if you don't know it, give yourself some time. You have like 60 minutes in a classic game, so just give yourself a little bit of time. And I've learned many different patterns too from just doing this here. Even I do the books, and even in books, there's some patterns haven't seen. Oops, on this. So, boom. Let me see here. Oh. Let's see if I go here. Boy, let me see this one. Oh, if I... No, I have to move over to the corner. Otherwise, he'd bring his rook down. Bishop take. No, if I play there. yeah. Push. Let me see. If I push the pawn, bishop takes. No, that. Well, no, 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 no. Let's see. Bishop takes. No pawn. Pawn e6. Bishop takes. Queen takes. d7. Bishop takes. Then I win a rook. Yeah, I'm gonna push the pawn. That's mate. The other one wasn't mate. Let's see, check. Ah, that wins a piece. Sometimes I get a little hung up on moves. I overthink them. I'm learning not to do that. Let me see here. I think this wins a piece. That wins the queen. See, check. Moves. Oh. Drat. Let's see. So queen takes, knight takes. There we go. Okay. Check. If I take here, bishop takes, then I can actually take the queen, and then I don't get checkmated, which is lovely and really nice. I like that. So rook takes there, and then if rook takes, see if I take there. Do I go up and exchange? If I take here, he takes there. I'm gonna just do it. Oh, I think I got a drat. Let me see. Let's see if I play rook e4. I think that would that mates. So there, check. She's up. There, yeah. That gets past pawn. So check. Mate. Let's see here. So check. Check there. Ah. And then this is mate. Some of those are tricky. Let's see here. That's mate. This takes. Oh, that's not. I was so close, didn't I get it? I think it's that there. Oh, so close. Okay. We'll get on to our studies now. But that was fun. I do like 2 or 3 a night. It's just for one thing. It helps with my pattern recognition and for me to be able to see it. So yeah, so I can get better. And sometimes you get 22, sometimes you get 30, sometimes you get 28. It all depends if you get hung up on them. 1 second, I have to go over the wrong ones. That's right. I almost forgot. So that's not it. Oops, check here. Ah, I missed that. Check. And then that's mate. Okay. Full board vision. Okay. That's not it. Are you sure that's a 900? That's a pretty stellar move for a 900. This is a pretty stellar attacking move for a 900. To be able to see this, that's pretty stellar. Okay. I can understand if it was a 13 or 1400 level one, but wow, 900. Hello, that's powerful there. Let's see. See, that's what I don't understand. I didn't get that one right. I landed it, but it didn't register that I got it. Well, it's okay. You know what? That should teach you something. If you do tournaments over the board, make sure you checkmate your opponent when you at it, even if it's a second. You got to make sure you deliver checkmate, or either checkmate push the clock, so you don't lose on time. That would be a tragedy. Because I could have got 23 on that one if I would have kind of sped up a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, so you know what? That's what it teaches you also. It teaches you to be efficient with your time, which is something that even super grandmasters like Krochnoi and a lot of the great players have a problem with, is they just get into time trouble. Come on. Yeah. I think it was one time Grandmaster Yazir Sarawan talked about that he helped Krochnoi actually get over, I believe, his time trouble, and he actually won some of his games. He won. I mean, it's not that he didn't win games before, but I mean, he had good time management at that point. And the sad thing about bad time management, I don't like to use bad, but in this case, I'll say bad. But in the you could have a winning game, but because you're so low in time, you get I call it the jitters, and you'll overlook a better move because you're thinking, "Oh no, I'm going to run out of time." You get the move jitters. You'll move like you don't do Alekhine's. Oh no. Well, I guess we're going to be doing another puzzle rush for right now until they're back up and ready to go. Let's see here. Yeah, I think they're maintenance soon. Oops. Excuse me. There we go. Let's see. You have to take the correct way. Let me get a drink. Phil. Excuse me. Ugh. Low carbonation there. I'm sorry. Pardon me. Let me see here. That wins a piece. Uh-oh. Let me see. That's mate. Let's see. Yeah, that's mate. Oh. Ouch. Now I have to be careful here. I gotta be careful that I don't get another strike. Takes tonight. Oh, this Wednesday night. So rook takes e4, king takes e4, king h6 there. Yeah, let's do it. Let's trade. Let's see, are we back? Let's give it another shot. See if we're back on. There we go, we're back. We're back and ready to roll. Alrighty. Now we're going to do a Hikaru Nakamura one versus Fabi. So we get to actually go over that. That's going to be a pretty interesting one. This is St. Louis Rapid 2015. One sec, let me get a drink. Alright. Let's do it to it. I should put it in here. And there we go. Let's do this. Let's pull up the classic. There we go. Now we're going to turn the board. This is Fabia's white. Excuse me, and Nakamura is black. American Super Grandmaster Fabi Caruana and Fabio Caruana and Hikaru Nakamura are both considered potential challengers for the world champion crown. So this is these are like stellar. These are like the best of the best, if you want to think about it. This is, I think, when they both were at their max. They're always good. I'm just saying though that this is a lot of power on a chessboard. Let's just say that. I guess that's the best. Sometimes I'm lost for words on that because it's so cool to be able to watch opponents, to be able to see such strong players play. This is the classic variation. Oh, who's who? White is Fabi is Caruana. White's Caruana, and black is Hikaru. And then C4. This is the classic variation. It's the Steinitz variation, but they played it different. We saw yesterday, we got to see yesterday a game where Steinitz himself actually played the variation that how it got named after. Who it got named after was Steinitz. And Steinitz took at this point. That was the old main line in 1850. But today, the 2000 plus, the 2015 and beyond, the move that they usually play now is knights. Oh, a second. Let me make sure I got this. Oh, F3. Sorry, knight F3. They usually play knight F3. That's what I mean. And then rather than taking, which would bring the queen into the fight, you could just move your knight, just develop. Because you want to stay up in potential of development with white. And the only way to do that is to develop your pieces. Even though it looks like, oh, I could take, but then the knight would take back. And then if you brought your knight out, the knight potentially would take here. Pawn takes. You did disintegrate the d4 pawn, which is part of the idea in the classic variation of the French, or the Steinitz. You can actually, the whole idea is based on basically getting the d4 pawn, attacking it, keep on attacking it, and pressurizing it to no end until there's nothing that can hold it. So bishop e3. See, this is different than the advanced variation, because the advanced variation would allow you to have a pawn on c3 to, as I like to say, protect d4. But because there's a knight on c3, you have to protect d4 with a pawn. Not pawn, a piece, with pieces, not pawns. So, the fight is to control d4. That's what the author says. And so bishop e7 is a potential idea. This is actually what was played. Bishop e7. Queen d2. My teacher one time told me that my grandmaster teacher said that you could potentially take on d takes c5. But the problem with this is you've lost your center. So it's not worth that. You do get a pawn. Yes, you're potentially able to play knight c5 or bishop takes, one or the other on c5. But is it worth surrendering the center? I don't think so. And so that's why They nowadays they don't take the pawn. They just wait. They're waiting for black to do something so that when the pawn gets taken by black's pawn on c5, a knight can take back, barricading it and having an outpost. And what if we take, the knight would take. Now the outpost, there would be an outpost on d4, and how would you be able to kick it out? You can't. You'd have to take it with a piece. So you always got to look to see why is my opponent not taking, and if I take, do I set up for my opponent to have an outpost in the center that I can never get rid of? So taking sometimes is good, and sometimes to wait. Patience is a virtue when it comes to some positions. So a6, this is to stop the infiltration of a bishop to b5 or a knight to b5, one of those, either one. Black prefers queen side expansion via later on b5 and then b4 and then oops. So we're going to try to go b5, c4, b4, and then try to expand and just pawn storm. You don't want to castle too early because sometimes they'll set up a Greek gift on you. So bishop d3. Now Fabi can't castle because if he castled, then potentially a Greek gift might happen, but there's no queen on d1, so he could in theory castle. But Fabi decided to actually go down more space control and gain more space on the queen side, and then potentially play c4, b4, a5, a4, b3, and then try to just crunch open the center, especially when you have enough reinforcements with your rook and bishop, and you just got to do what you got to do. So Nakamura actually castles here. Yeah, Fabi's white. Sorry, you're right. Hikaru's black. I got the players mixed up. Hikaru is black and Fabi's white. That's right. I did get them mixed up. It's dangerous business for black to actually play c4 here. Many French lines, since this takes the pressure off of white's center and enables a kingside attack to happen. So you got to be careful not to do this move here. Unless you're going to like maybe castle queenside. If you do that, maybe it's okay. But remember, now if you do that, if you go c4, your bishop is entombed. And we learned that from Jeremy Silman that an entombed bishop is basically considered a tall pawn. And so Hikaru's not going to do that. He is going to, at this point, blast open the center with d takes, clearing way for c4 and bishop entry, for the bishop to enter. So if the knight came there, bishop could actually come to c5 with queen to b6, and then potentially even a sacrifice to open up the with the two knights is a plausible idea. There's been some grandmasters who have actually castled and then sacrificed a knight after the knight moves here to get rid of the two pawns and then play with their bishops. And black has the center at that point. So c takes, because the reason, of course, we looked at that if knight takes, you do have this potential beautiful idea of takes, takes, takes. Now you're you'll be able to exchange off the knight for the bishop, even though you're down a piece. In exchange for you're down a piece for two pawns. There is no more center. So black could actually castle and then use his mobile center to cause a lot of chaos in white's camp. So that's why the bishop took rather than the knight taking, was that's a potential idea. It also guards this twice. So it guards the e5 pawn twice. Bishop, wait a second. Did I move my bishop wrong? Hold on. What did I do? Did I do something wrong here? Oh yeah, I did. Sorry about that. It wasn't black. Black didn't play that. Sorry. Black played queen b6. So Fabi played takes here, then bishop takes, and then knight takes. Okay. I knew there was something a little awry because that didn't make enough sense for Fabi to have allowed that. And then queen to f2. Knight d7. Just like last game, the fight is for d4. So knight d7. It's not easy to get the timing right of when to be cautious and when to be daring. In positions, in critical positions, all which concerns us is the immediate attack. The abstract notation of future infiltrations and the end game to come doesn't seem to matter much to Nakamura. Nakamura understands that annexing and removing the queens from the board to safety as king is better than playing b4 at this point. And that's why instead of b4, which knight e2, and then a4, knight e d4, the fact the queens remain on the board is somewhat of a concern for black, because the white queen will be able to infiltrate onto the queen side and cause some king side and cause some chaos. Because if black can't get a queen side attack going, white will more than happily exploit their advantage on the king side. White has more space on the king side, and white's going to go h4, Harry, Gary, and then Frederick, and then Gary again, Harry, and down the board, and then just storm the pawns if it's allowed. So that's why Hikaru plays knight to d7 to trade off, and Fabi plays a3, and I'm going to ask you to you are black, so black to move, exclaim. So black to move, exclaim. You are Hikaru Nakamura. What did Hikaru play that was an exclaim move? What did he play? I'll be right back. Try that again. Give it another shot. What would Hikaru play here? Try it. Try it one more time. Give it your best shot. And just take a second here. Just slow down. Slow down. And think, what two breaks does black want to set up? What two breaks does black want to set up? And you get a feeling that there's a Greek gift in the air. So you don't want to safety your king just yet, but you want to set up so you can play f6, but you don't want to fall into a trap. So what move would Hikaru Nakamura play to improve his position and set up basically for f6 to be played pretty soon, and to get prepared for an endgame that's going to be coming down the pike pretty soon? Castling, yeah, but remember, we don't want to allow white to have an attack. I'll give you one more chance, one more opportunity. Just think about endgame. What piece do you bring in during the endgame? I'll give you a hint on that. What piece do you bring in the endgame? The king, correct. So what would be the move? You have to be able to. Sorry, I get sometimes. I think I got like some sort of something buzzed me there. It's actually King E7. King E7 exclam at this point, because I was giving you a hint on the idea is you want to safety your king, but you also want to prepare for f6. Remember, there's only two moves that two breaks for black in the French: f6 and c5. So black wants to get their other break in, also being able to mobilize, potentially after the knight moves, mobilize the bishop to come via this way. And the only way to do that is to free up e7, e8 for the bishop after the knight moves. And obviously, like f6, pawn takes, knight takes, now the bishop can actually come via d7, e8, and h5. So the queens are coming off the board. So Nakamura plays on the Steinitz principle. Use your king as a fighting piece in the endgame. Don't hide it in the corner. So queen takes, knight takes, and knight e2. Now d4 is firmly in white's grip. He holds a minimal endgame, minimal endgame edge, slight. Bishop d7. Remember, the idea is we're trying to get in and trade off to alleviate some of the pressure on d5 or d4. So b3 was played here. This is preparing, trying maybe to break with c4, and at certain points maybe Bobby will actually play a4. And this also potentially will be able to get maybe a knight. A knight maybe could come back and then come in. Something similar to that, but I doubt he would do that. Denying black's knight a4. So that's what it does. It denies a4. But it does weaken c3, but we got to find a way to exploit that. And that's far from being able to be exploited. Here comes f6. Booyah. Loving it. That's an interesting move. The attempt of to go for an attack is what he wants to do. So knight e d4, knight takes d4, knight takes d4, f takes e4, f takes e4, and then h6. This is so that Hikaru can actually play a rook h f8. That's the idea. King f2. Exclam at this point by Fabi. He makes use of his king in the endgame and boosts the control over the dark squares. So rook h f8, like what we were talking about. King e3. Rook takes f1. Rook takes f1. And then bishop to e8, like what we were talking about. Mobilizing the bishop. Getting the bishop into the fight. White has all the winning chances in the line of f8. If he played f8 here, f takes, king takes, and then king d2 exclam, because what's going to happen is the king's going to come along the dark squares, and he's going to try to, with the king, have 3 attacking pieces, and the chance of black getting his king involved is 0 to none because of the e5 pawn stopping the king from advancing to d6. So that's why Hikaru kept the pieces on the board, the rooks on the board, by playing bishop to e8 to get bishop h5 in there and try after the rooks come off the board, maybe the bishop would be able to come into d1, or potentially bishop to e2 if the bishop moves, and taking some action on the light squares. Okay, bishop h7, intending to go g8 and attack the pawn. So Hikaru played f7, knight c6 check, exclam, king e8 to hold on to the bishop, only move, d3, bishop d3, c8 to attack the knight, knight b4 to attack the pawn, knight d7, what Hikaru is trying to say is, go ahead, take my a6, I'm going to take your e5, and which pawn's more valuable? The center pawn, of course. Okay, let me make sure I got this. King d4, knight b8. This is, the author says, combination alert, combination alert, combination alert. White to move. White to move. Exclam. Fabi finds an exclam move. Give it a go. Give it your best opportunity here. What is the move? You are Fabiano Caruana. What is a good move? I don't know if did he actually play it? I think he did. I'm not sure in this one. Ooh, nice. You found it. But actually, Hikaru played check. So this move here was, oops, ah. This move here was an exclam by Fabi. Hikaru played there. Okay, now an exclam again. Fabi to move. Another exclam. Fabi to move. Another exclam. What's the move? Be brave. Be brave, young Padawan. As I always like saying that. But be brave. Think of a courageous move. What would be a courageous move for white that gets an exclam? There's only one good move here, and work through them. There we go. Excellent job. Excellent. Great job there. C5 is a exclam move. He says, don't be afraid of ghosts. Black discovered check on E5 isn't so scary for white. So king E7, knight takes B5. So if there was a discovery like this here, the king could actually just come in like this, and after the bishop takes, pawn takes, and now if check, you can actually come in and actually potentially, sorry, if I gotta redo that again. That was my bad there. It's not D6. It's actually taking on B5. Taking on B5 is actually better. And if takes, pawn takes. Now Fabi's got two pass pawns. So B5 was played. That's Hikaru played king to E7, and Fabi played king takes B5. Knight takes E5. The ending becomes a battle between white's queenside passers versus black's center passers. So king to B6, E8, bishop E8, A4, queen D6, king F2, covering his second rank. Knight takes D6, c takes D6, and then bishop to G6, trying to take scope on the pawn. Note the much bad light square bishop after later runs out to be turns out to be an extra piece, excellent piece. When it escapes from its confinement of its structure and is promoted to the level of a super minor piece at this point. D5, or D4 I mean. E5, exclam by Hikaru. He's trying to get his nobody wants to wait in long line for the fun of queening a pawn. So Hikaru Nakamura generates dangerous counterplay. Via his soon passed d-pawn will be a headache basically for Fabi. D takes, check, king takes, b4, d4, b5. The queenside passers trail their king. D3, b4, king d4, exclam, kaboom. Both sides are clearly in the Steinitz principle of utilizing the king in the endgame. Knight c6 check. King e3 attacking the rook. Rook f3 check. King e2, and then knight to d4 check. And then Hikaru plays a sad move. Don't overpress for a win when the position says otherwise. Hikaru played king e1, and it was a mistake and losing. Let's see here. They're saying that, surprisingly, the author says that king d2 is actually a winning move here. a5, bishop e4 to attack the rook, and the black's best chance of holding the game would have been this. King there is not the best. Rook e3, king f1. Black's king continues to shuffle back and forth. King takes. Rook takes e4, exclam, or do a4. Wait a second. What am I? Hold on. What am I missing here? Did I? Oh, great. Did I do something? Did I take wrong? Five. That's right. Just let me make sure I got this e1. Ah, that's the reason. Rook g3. Bishop e4. I missed a in line. That was my problem. This is wrong there, so. Rook e3 check. Or f3. King f1. And then takes d2. And so if on let me see here, instead of bishop there, if black had played d2 here, this is actually a double question mark blunder. Knight f3. King E2, D takes, and it is hopeless for black at this point. So Hikaru tried his best. Combination alert. Combination alert. White to move. Combination alert. Boom. It's you. You are Fabiano Caruana. What are you going to play here? You're white. What's the best move at this point? What do you think the best move is? Alright, if you said knight f5, you were right. With the idea if he queens, the knight comes in. Rook c3. Rook d4. King e1. a5. g6. And knight d6. Instead of rook c3, if you played, if you queened here, knight check, and then king e2, knight takes check, and then king takes. So g6, instead of g6 for black, queening, rook takes, king takes, a6. And black's rook is incapable of halting white's past queening pawns. And so Hikaru resigned at this point here. Okay, so let's do it to it. Let's get on to a Magnus Carlsen. Do you want to do, I wanted to ask, do you want to do some puzzles first or do you want to do endgame? Puzzles or endgame? Puzzles or endgame? I'll get the endgame set up. Okay. This is a game between Magnus Carlsen as white and Hikaru Nakamura as black. This is the Reki Vik, uh, and it's 2011. Let's get these rooks on the board. Excuse me. One second. No. Wow. Okay. Nakamura played the Queen C5, which is probably not a good move. Suggested by Magnus was actually G6 and H6 response, which would give him a trump in the endgame and keep Hikaru's bishops away from G6. It is remarkable that Carlsen was thinking ahead about the positional endgame while the players were in so deep of a middle game. Queen C5. Bishop takes, knight takes. So bishop takes, knight takes. Queen d3. F takes is a dubious move. H takes G. H takes G. H6. H6. Queen G3. And B6. Queen C1. That's threatening mate, by the way, so that's why he played that. Queen A5. DF1. A5. A5 there. Bishop takes. A takes. D takes. A, which is actually a blunder here. Bishop takes here. Bishop E7. Rook takes, and then knight. Let's set up a position here. King e2, rook c5, b4, Carlsen takes opportunity to gain more space on the queen side. Rook d4, a5, oops, hold on. I think they have the man is Hikaru is black. That's odd. So d4, a5, f7. Oh no, did I? Oh, drat, I have the king in the wrong spot. There we go. There we go. Okay, f1, f8. Carlsen begins his process of transferring the king to the queen side. d2 to d3, king e8, oops, not f8, e8, d2, d7, c1, d1, c2 check, c5, d1, c7. Hey, no. c1, e3. Let me go back here. There's something I missed. E3. There we go. Rook at h1. Rook takes e7 check. King d8. Rook h7. Oh, not. King 3. And then white resigns. Let's go back to rook to c1. And we're going to put in the moves. If a4 at this point, if a4, which is an interesting move, king e2. The first move, okay. I think the idea was to give room I think the idea was to give room for I could have attempted to open the A file. Rook e3. A takes B. A takes B. Rook a6. Oops. Not d6. a6. King e2. 1 second. There we go. This is the problem right here. Rook takes b3. Bishop b6. Actually, not b5. Alright, b6. There we go. a3. Rook c3. Rook takes b4. Rook takes b4. It takes b4, and then b3. And black has acquired probably a winning position. Okay. Hold on, let me see. So this is funny. Okay. Now I got the problem. 3, rook e3, c takes d, c takes, rook takes b, b6, a, excuse me, a little hiccup there, a3, rook c3, rook takes, takes, pawn takes, and b3. Winning position. So if c1, if king e3, h1, king d4, rook e1, king c5. White would have some counter chances. Okay. And if a6, a6, rook d1, d2, a4, b takes, rook takes, which also wins. If rook e3, c2 check, or if king e1, d8, e2, d6, e3, cd, dc8, e6 check, d7, e5, and rook c1. Black wins. Okay. Let's see. e3, but if king e3, b6, king e2, c5, e3, e6, d takes e, rook takes e, f2, that can't be right. Oh, this is before e3, so king e3, b6, e2, c5, e3, e6, d takes, takes, king f. Well, maybe I would be lost, but if here, and then if rook, I'm just doing some lines, rook here takes, takes, and then king here, and white's lost. I see what he's saying. There's no hope. No hope at that point. Rook d1, Tasty one, Tasty one. Oh, it's not Tasty one, sorry. King Tasty one. Rook D7. King C2. D6. E3. Rook E3. C takes D5. Rook E5. King D4. Takes a5. King E3. Black invades and wins. So this is a 1 endgame. This is a 1 endgame. So we'll do a I'll set you up with a game to look at real quick. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Alright, we're gonna finish this one up here. Yeah, we'll finish watching this because I just want to see how this ends. Yeah, you asked a question. Rapid or Blitz? I'm more of a classic player. But probably Rapid. Rapid probably, because Blitz is yeah, at least you have 10 minutes for Rapid max, and so I'm like, I think that's a good amount of time. But Blitz is really fast, really, really, really fast. And it's basically on your instinct at that point. Let's see how, this is an interesting one here. Well, at a certain point, you're okay to do, if you know what you're doing. There we go, board editor. Same here. Let's see how we doing on time. Just wanted to check just to make sure we're right on time. Hold on, let me see. Alright, perfect. We got enough time for 6. We can do 6 puzzles, and then I gotta log off. We can do 6. Let's do it to it. Yep, this should be it. Uh-oh, wait a second. Sorry, I got the bishop in the wrong spot. 1 second. Now I got it right. Mate 2 for white. I heard something. Must just be me. White to mate 2. Knight takes. Queen h7 mate. If queen takes, queen h7 mate. So, there we go. White to mate 2. Got both of them. All right. This one should be a walk in the park. Yep. Alright, after this one, 2 more. We'll have to mate 2. Yep, you got it. There you go. Okay. After this one more. go. White to move, mate 2. This should be a walk in the park. That's okay. Not a problem. You know what? Remember, as long as you get the answers in, that's what matters. There you go. Kaboom, there's mate. One, this is it. This is the last one. So let's see if we can get a 6 out of 6. Yep, that's right. That's the other mate too. Great job. Great job on finding the other mate too. So that was good. Excellent. Excellent. Do, 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 do. Oops, I almost forgot white's king. And there it be. This is the last one. This is the last. There we go. Did I just want to make sure I set this one up right. Give me a second. Yep. Yeah, this one's right. Good job. Kaboom. And if he doesn't do anything, let's say he moves his king, this whatever move he does, like king here, that's mate. If he moves his king, if he moves any piece, that's mate. Okay, do you have any questions before I log off? I want to thank you for logging on. Great job. Play okay. Great job. 360. Keep pushing forward. Remember to treasure your victories and learn from your losses. Remember that mistakes do not define you. It's how you handle the mistake that defines you. As a chess player and a person. It's also what you think about will become who you are. And what you put before your eyes will affect your thoughts. So you have to make sure that you put, if you're going to do a chess opening, make sure, like the French defense, and you really want to learn it, make sure you study the French defense. Put the French defense moves before your eyes. Always, and because if you're studying like 3 different openings for black, you're going to get them confused. So try to study, if you want to know the French, just study hard the French defenses lines and make sure you get those down. Then you can move on to other lines if you want in the opening. But you have to make sure that you get an understanding of the opening. And also remember that our minds do hit plateau areas sometimes. So just be patient with yourself. The Lord's always patient with us, so that's huge. And remember that, you know what? It's not where you start; it's where you finish. And there were three kings of Israel. One was Saul. He started out good, King Saul, but he ended up bad, turning out to be not so good. His latter part was worse than his beginning. David was a man after God's own heart. Solomon started out good too, but he let things in his life that he should not have, and things into his heart that he should not have. And that's the type of thing we can't, when you're studying an opening, you can't let, if you're going to do the French defense, don't do the Sicilian, don't do the accelerated dragon, do the French defense. That's why I bring those up, to reinforce that you have to study one thing at a time. And remember to take what you know and apply it to to the position, and be willing to do something with it. And remember to always put on your Grandmaster glasses when you sit down at the board, over the board, or OTB. And never give up, but always get up. If you fall down, get right back up and dust off and keep pushing forward. If you think you can, you will. If you think you can't, you won't. Either way, you're right. And every long journey begins with one small step. And I'm trying to think, oh yeah, we have this one that I really like. Bruce Lee didn't fear the person who practiced 10,000 individual kicks, but he feared the person who practiced one kick 10,000 times. And so, you know what? We have to always remember when with the Lord's been here from the beginning, and he'll be here to the end. And so, and even beyond that. And if he's been at the beginning, he knows all things. And if he promised us the Holy Spirit that is God, then think about, we'll know all things too. The Holy Spirit knows all things as well. So what we have to also remember is to ask the Lord to help us with our talent. And you know what? Just chess is a great all-around for mental learning. And we have to keep in mind that patience is a virtue, because you're not going to get it all in one day. Be patient with yourself, have fun, go over tactics, and like what we talked about at the beginning, myelin gets laid down the faster you do like a puzzle. And that's why it's good to do the puzzle rush on chess.com. And if you get them wrong, take a second and find out where you got them wrong. And if you didn't get any wrong, but the last one you weren't able to finish, then go over the last one and finish that one. But don't use Puzzle Rush for what it is, to learn patterns and improve. Okay, do you know what? What do chess crunchers do? They hang up their coats, they hang up their hats. They sit down and study when most won't. Chess crunchers do. And that makes all the difference. And as Wesley So says to Lord Jesus, as I say, God bless. And I'll see you next time on Chess Cruncher TV. Have a blessed morning, afternoon, and evening. And Lord willing, I'll be back on tomorrow. And we'll keep pushing forward, doing our French first steps in the French defense, our endgame of Magnus Carlsen, some puzzles, and always honoring the Lord with the talents that he's given us, for he's the only worthy. And remember, what did Hannibal Smith say? He said, a good plan is a plan that you have your opponent reacting to your moves, and that the moves that they're doing applies to your position, and it leads to a win. That's a plan. And when that happens, we get to say this inside when we win or draw. I love it when a plan comes together. Okay, you know what? Great job. Go Team Chess Cruncher. Hoorah, be blessed. Keep pushing forward. Keep honoring the Lord Jesus, and always two thumbs up, hoorah! And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.